And a very good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Issues and Attitudes on this St. Patrick's Day, 2025. My name is Jeff Owens, General Manager of WEIU. My co-host today is Rob Calhoun.
Thanks for having me, Jeff.
And our guest today is the Assistant Athletic Director for Development at Eastern Illinois University, Hall of Famer Amber May.
Thanks. Happy to be here.
Yeah, well, appreciate you coming over today, Amber. And the reason we wanted you on, you asked, why. I mean, I know you don't like to always accept all this stuff, but you got a new job. You've switched from alumni services to Assistant Athletic Director. So I guess what I wanted to find out today a little bit is, what kind of inspired the job change and how's it going?
Yeah, of course. I think the biggest thing is the obvious. It's back in athletics. Growing up athletics all my life, it is what I went to college for. It's what I strove to be, is to be in athletic administration. And now I have the opportunity. I spent 13 years in the alumni services world and got my feet wet in higher ed advancement. And so now it's bringing full circle back home. I started as a GA in athletics. I did an internship there for a short stint before moving. So it's good to be back with a lot of new tools that I can bring to the administrative staff.
What does it mean to you to be in athletics at the school that you went to?
I can't put into words what it means. It's nice to be able to give back to what they gave to me as a student athlete. My experience here changed who I am, made me who I am today. And so it's nice to be able to be in a position to give that same experience to student athletes all across the country that do come to Eastern.
Why don't you give us a little bit of background of, like maybe your high school, college, and what got you to where you are today?
Yeah, of course. So I grew up in Bloomington Normal, so just down the road. But, everyone always asked me why I didn't go to Illinois State, and quite honestly, they told me I was too short. So came here to Eastern, went to a junior college first, had some knee surgeries through high school, but went to a junior college, came here as a sophomore, got to play my first game against Illinois State and threw a no-hitter against them. So
that had to feel good, huh?
That was amazing. Yeah, so it was a nice, don't test me because I will. I'm too competitive to let that go. But yeah, came here as a sophomore in 2008 and just honestly haven't left. And this is my home and can't see myself leaving anytime soon.
That's cool. One of the obviously fundraising is your job right now. So, how difficult has that been to go out and ask for people for money to support athletics and talk about that part of your job now?
It's been pretty easy. So I'm over the Panther Club annual fund drive and also corporate sponsorships. But it's amazing the support we have in this community and also just nationwide with our supporters. People want to give. People want to help the programs. People want to enhance the experiences for our student athletes. So it's been surprisingly pretty easy. Everyone, gets scared about asking people for money. But when you have a product like we produce at Eastern Illinois Athletics, it's easy to get behind and easy to support.
That's a great answer.
And with your alumni services job, you were asking for money there too, so you were really familiar with asking for money. What's the difference between doing that for the alumni and doing this for EIU Athletics?
I think the biggest difference is just, you're connecting alumni through sports. I think a lot of us in this industry has some sort of affinity to sports, and so it's an easier connection, I think. And, we can bring alumni back. We can engage more. We can do more things. And it's easy to get behind, fun to get to know the student athletes as people, as, players, and it's fun to watch them grow. So it's easy to support, I think, and it's just a fun thing to be a part of.
After you've taken this new job, has anything surprised you? I mean, any surprises or shocks out there that you didn't think was coming that way, but it happened?
I'm surprised every day at this job. And that's honestly the world of college athletics is a big surprise every day. You wake up and you're always looking to see what the next thing is. The NIL is playing a huge role in just college athletics in general, and just seeing what other schools are going through. That's probably the biggest surprises is trying to navigate through that.
Okay.
Last month, the EIU women's basketball team had their care game, and were you a part of that, and what did you do to help with that?
Yeah, of course. So I helped, definitely helped our women's basketball coaching staff, just help promote it, just help, get people there. Worked with Sarah Bush on just kind of getting all the loose ends connected so they could then focus on that game. But we had a great turnout, raised a lot of money for Sarah Bush. It's been a great partnership the last 10, 20 years for that game especially.
I know the Eastern women had a great season and ended with a little disappointment at the OVC. Was there any thought to them playing in one of the other two tournaments? Or I know that those cost money, and so were you involved in any of those talks?
No, not quite involved in those. I know, it was discussed. I think they may have went to the WBIT if they would have invited, but not sure that happened. So.
Okay. The super sectional game was also held last week on the campus, and was the athletic department wowed? I mean, it was a great turnout. There was, tons of people there. Talk about what that meant and what that means to have that many people.
Yeah, no, it was. It exceeded our expectations. It's nice having a somewhat local school, but Marion from down south traveled very well, better than they did last year. But it's nice to have a packed gym for a high school team, and we get to show off our facilities and our staff. We talked as an administrative staff of we've got to make this an experience for these fans. They need to see our product and also maybe come back for a game. They can see what kind of thing we can put on. But no, had a great energy was great. Community around here was great. Also, being from Effingham, we got to see a lot of alums here, so it was nice to get them back.
Was Billy the Panther not allowed to be there? I was wondering why. I thought maybe the Eastern Athletics would have him there just for the fun part. Did you know?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
I stumped you finally?
You did, yeah. I don't have an answer for that one.
All right.
With the changes to Groninger Arena, how did you think that enhanced the way that the crowd looked there?
I think everything that we've done, as far as the bleachers, the flooring, you walk in, the place is bright. It looks clean. It looks great. You watch games on TV, and it just pops. I got talking to somebody that went down to the Carbondale game, and just the difference in lighting alone it just brings the whole experience full circle.
You talked a little bit a minute ago, if anybody heard you, about NIL. How is NIL affecting? Does it affect your fundraising part of the job? Do you have to worry about any of that, or is that more just on the athletic competition side?
That's more on the athletic competition side right now. We're not set up to pay for NILs through our administrative staff yet. So down the road, it's something we'll end up doing. But right now, it's more on the athletes.
So they have to really secure their own funding, is that how, for lack of a better way to say it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I was just curious how that worked.
You're also handling the day-to-day operations for the Panther Club. What does that involve?
A lot of it is just going out and just communicating with our Panther Club members about what we're doing and where their dollars are going and keeping them updated. But then also getting more people to join. We're only as strong as our donors, their support. So we always need more donors. We always need more supporters. Even, little amounts make a difference. It all adds up in the big scheme of things. And, without our supporters, we can't do a lot of the things that we are able to provide for these student athletes, and just making that experience great for them.
We're talking to Amber May today. She's the new Assistant Athletic Director for Development here at EIU, longtime EIU athlete, as well as at the Alumni Services for 13 years, she said. As you go out and you talk to the donors or call in donors or whatever, is there anything that you are working on that you can talk about that you're trying to raise money for? So something that people can kind of, when you sell stuff, you have to have something tangible. Is there a tangible thing like you're looking for new lights at the baseball stadium, or is there anything out there that you're really searching for right now?
I think the biggest thing, I think our number one goal right now is to get a dome for the football indoor practice facility. We're always looking for upgrades in facilities. Our field house probably hasn't been touched for a number of years. So resurfacing that flooring, just kind of updating that. We bring in all kinds of high school track competitions, and then also our indoor track team, and just facilities is the biggest. We go to these other schools and they're updating constantly, and we just have to stay with it and stay up to date on it. So any kind of facility updates, locker room updates are big with these student athletes. Obviously, lights at the baseball field is another project. So I would say it's an endless list of projects that we are always funding for, and it really just depends on what donors are interested in funding.
Do you find it easier, though, to quote unquote sell something that's tangible instead of just saying, "Hey, give because we're really good"? I mean, do you think it's that way? Or
it's a good mix.
Okay.
People do, donors do want to support the student athlete experience, and we fund it, like our Giving Blue Day last year. We funded for things as far as just help offset our sports budgets. Okay. Obviously, we're not very well equipped with money. And so having that support to be able to buy meals on the road, be able to take those bigger trips to give these student athletes that experience.
Okay.
In the process of updating McAfee Gymnasium for the volleyball team, how's that going along?
It's been great. They've been in there the last 2 weeks practicing. The floor is done. I think the pads are in. So I think they're looking at having maybe a scrimmage this spring. So it's going to be a very exciting time for Panther volleyball, and having their own space and having it, they can do whatever they want there and make it their own.
Plus, it clears out Groninger for the basketball team is
Yeah,
to practice
absolutely.
at more
Yep.
reasonable times. It's, things when you think about it, 3 practices in one day sometimes is tough to schedule out when
It can be tough.
when you're juggling athlete schedules and everything else that's going on campus. Let's go back to softball a little bit. I mean, you played softball here at Eastern, like I said, for the 3+ years, and with some success, I guess you would say. But what do you miss about that competition? I mean, can you talk about that?
I think honestly, it's just the competition. It's getting in there and doing whatever you can to win a ball game, and facing adversity when you do come into struggles, and it's lacing up your cleats every day before that game and stepping on the mound, and just miss everything about it. Every at bat is a constant battle. You're trying to win every pitch, every inning. It's just a battle within a battle, and I would turn, and I still try to, I still play and still can't give it up at my age. And it's just hard to turn that competitive edge off.
I mean, they're playing right now, so I mean, you probably don't miss very many softball games at home, I assume.
No, not too many.
Have you talked to Christy and Dan and Stacy about the team and things like that? I mean, because they're new to Division I athletics.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think and we talk quite a bit, and they're still learning the rules for Division I, which if anybody else wants to try to learn them, great. I don't envy them for that, but they're having a great time. The girls are adapting well to their coaching style. They're having success. They're winning ball games. They're doing the things the right way, and they're representing Eastern very well.
What did it mean to EIU for the softball team to go to the national tournament a couple of years ago?
Oh, that was huge, especially as an alum. Knowing that our program's still in great hands, still very successful, it makes those alums that kind of have helped build the way, it makes them proud. It makes them, glad that we went here. Watching them still have success is just a whole new world for us.
Since you're still in the softball world, what advice would you have for young softball players in the area of what they should do and as they move forward with their careers?
Yeah, I would just say keep playing and enjoy it. The biggest thing is you've got to enjoy the game. I've been around too many girls that, get burnt out or in it for the wrong reasons, and if you don't enjoy it, you're not going to stick with it. But it's a game, and remember, it's not the end of the world when you strike out.
Everybody does it, right?
Right. Absolutely. I gave up, and I probably set the record for most home runs given up. But you got to love what you do because it is truly a hobby, and it's not a lifestyle.
Were you always a pitcher? Did you ever play other positions for softball?
I attempted. Didn't last very long. So I like to claim I was a second baseman. Definitely was not.
Were you a batter at all? Did you hit at all?
Well, if you ask my coaches, I was not. But in my mind, I thought I was.
That's funny.
Got a special event coming up, the Panther Fund Run 5K. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, of course. So I've actually never been a runner, but I went down to Florida, and my best friend talked me into doing a 5K, and had a great time. I don't know why I wanted to even do another one, but I just thought it'd be a great way to bring the community together and just support Panther athletics. And then we have our spring football game that morning at 11, and so just trying to tie everything together, building a healthy lifestyle, promoting Panther athletics, bring in the communities, and then to support our Panther football team.
Do you have other events this spring or into the early summer that you want to talk about today, Amber?
Yeah, we do have an event in Effingham coming up at Kerner's Distributing, who have been great supporters for us to the athletic program.
I worked there for 1 year, by the way.
Yeah. Okay. April 23rd. It is open to the public, so if anyone is interested in coming. And then we are planning our big Spring Fling auction fundraiser on June 7th that weekend. And we're looking to spice it up a little bit. We're not going to, do anything like we did last year with the 4 champion football players. But bringing a new kind of twist to our fundraising and bringing a Cirque du Soleil event.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So.
Very cool. Very cool. You also had Clifford, the big red dog from
We did have
WEIU
Clifford,
at the game. How'd that go?
I think it went great. I think all the kids were surprised to see him, and walked around a little bit watching him, but I think some of the kids, I don't know if they knew who he was or just thought he was just a big red dog. But definitely were a little skittish around him. But I think once they warmed up, it was all hugs and smiles with them. So it was fun to have them there.
That's cool.
What kind of ideas are you trying to come up with different ways for fundraising?
I think the biggest thing is, just getting out the community events more and doing some more just engagement fundraisers. We've got to get supporters to the games. I always hear when people come to the games what the great time they have. And so just getting that cycle of getting people in the habit of coming. But then also looking at some other revenue generating things, bringing birthday parties to basketball games and, renting out some of the space we have, get some kids to the game, doing some corporate sponsorship, stuff like that.
I think it also helps when SIUE is now a member of the OVC, Western Illinois back in the OVC. It helps when you get kind of those rivalries. I know we play Indiana State in a few sports, so it's kind of nice when those proximity games help out.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, those schools also recruit local kids from us. And so it's nice to bring them back to campus and see them as well. But I agree. It helps the crowds. It helps the stands be full. So it's nice to have just that little competitive edge against your state schools.
Not to talk too much about softball, but another cool thing that's happening is the University of Washington's actually going to play on the EIU campus in a couple weeks. Talk about that and how cool that is.
Yeah, I think it's a great thing for EIU softball and Eastern Athletics. Bringing a caliber team like that to here, and being able to showcase our facilities and our team, those girls are going to remember that game forever. My best memories are playing in those big competitive games, but to be able to do it on your home field would just be a dream come true for me.
I think it's a week from Thursday. I'm terrible at dates.
I think the 27th. Yeah.
What do you like best about EIU? When you go out there and talk to people, what are you shouting out to them?
Oh, that's a great question, Rob. I think the best is just the excitement that everyone has for EIU and the support that they do have. I've never met anybody that has said a bad word about EIU. You talk to alums, you talk to fans, even if they didn't go, it's all great things. So having those memories and just the connections that it brings people together, small mid-major college, and you can still have that excitement over sports teams, over things that are happening on campus, over enrollment. Everything is great to get behind and get excited about.
I always wondered this, and I don't want to be too intrusive here, but when you leave alumni services to go to athletics, obviously it's great because you're athletics and all that stuff, you're working there, but you also leave behind friends at alumni services. So how did they feel, and kind of what's their status over there? I mean, when you think about it.
Yeah, that definitely was a hard decision. I thought I was going to live and die in alumni and never, imagined myself leaving. But actually I had my vice president came to me and approached me for this position. It was opening, and she thought I'd be a perfect fit, and so I appreciate her support. One, you're getting rid of an employee that has been here for 13 years, but she saw that what my passion was, and it was a chance for me to grow as an individual and career-wise, and so everything about that support has been very valuable from her and having that. But yeah, certainly miss. Obviously I'm just right down the road, so I still constantly talk to my coworkers all the time and still call and check up like I'm around. So they can't quite get rid of me completely, but it's been a nice transition and full supported by all of higher.
Have they named a new director of alumni services?
Not yet. They've got a search open right now.
Okay, cool.
So.
What advice would you give an EIU incoming athlete on how to best experience this campus?
I would say get involved as much as possible. Obviously being a student athlete, you're going to school full time, you're practicing, you're doing study tables, but do enjoy the college experience. Get involved with the residence halls and join some RSOs, because that's where you become a person. That's where you learn more about yourself, not just being on a field or a court. So just make it as many friends as possible outside of your sport even. I still have friends to this day that were on the baseball team. I've got friends from my classes that didn't even play sports. So it's just branching out and getting to really learn who you are.
Now, one of the things about you is you keep busy. You also officiate sporting events. Talk about how you've grown and done that, and what kind of got you involved into officiating.
Yeah, of course. So I got involved because two friends asked me, and back then I just couldn't say no to anything. So had a few hours on my plate a night and thought, what a great idea to just officiate football, what I know nothing about. So I joined. I had just had a.
So you're not a real Broncos fan, then? That's all fake stuff.
Well, no, I am a Broncos fan.
Okay.
Yes,
I
I
just
just
sure.
right, but
All right.
But no, I started football 10 years ago with not a clue in the world what the heck I was doing, and I think it showed. But honestly, like as I got dug in the rule book, learned from my peers, had mentors. I truly believe officiating is what has made me more confident in my work, in my personal life, professionally, everything. It gives you an opportunity to learn something new, take criticism, and then just be able to kind of have broad shoulders. But it was an opportunity for me, and I love everything about it is because I can still compete. Obviously, being a competitor all my life, can't give it up. They won't let me play sports anymore, so this is the next best thing is being on the other side of it. And so being able to do that every day, being around the kids, I wouldn't change anything for it.
Now, football, you're on a crew where you work with the same people all the time, but basketball is a little different where you don't know who you're going to work with. What kind of a difference does that make?
I think it's, it is a little nerve-wracking when you walk into a gym and you don't know your partners. But the IHSA and the state of Illinois do a great job, teaching mechanics. So we all have the same mechanics. So we're walking in with the same rule, with the same set of, just what we do. And but honestly, I kind of love having the different partners every game because it gets me to introduce people, and I get to have new mentors every single game. And I work with guys and girls that have been here for 20, 30 years, and I work with some new ones that I get to mentor. So it's a nice change.
How do you fit that into your schedule? I mean, do you do 2 or 3 basketball games a week or what?
I certainly can do 6 days a week, completely,
Wow.
And basketball is not. You pick your own schedule. You pick where you go. A lot of the times the ADs are emailing you, and quite frankly, even now they're emailing you the day of. There's such a shortage in officiating that we just can't cover games like what they used to, and so yep, you can have a completely blank schedule at the start of a season, and then you will have a full schedule if you want it. So.
You used to be an assistant with Charleston High School softball. What did that mean when they went to the Final Four a couple years ago to you as a coach?
Oh, it was awesome. Coach Mayhall and I still watch the video from the Mount Zion game that we got to state, and just the goosebumps we still talk about because we've been with that program for 12 years, and to see those girls, especially that class, Blaine's daughter's on that team, and so we brought them up from age 8, and so see how much they've grown, just I think meant more. But we've worked 13 years. We've had great teams, great success throughout the years, and to finally get that last step. Obviously, state didn't go the way we wanted it to, but I think we competed very well. Had 2 great games at state, and just came up short. But those girls are going to remember that. I was there in high school at the state championship, and it's something that you'll never forget as a student athlete in high school.
Odd question, but how many athletic games do you think you see a year between officiating, former coaching, and being involved with Eastern Athletics?
Oh gosh, I would probably like to say close to probably 300, 400 games a year. So. If you need to know anything about sports, I can make it up. Yeah.
There you go. Easiest way for someone to give to EIU Athletics. What's the best way?
Check out our website, eiupanthers.com. We've got our Panther Club page right on the left side, and we appreciate any and all donations.
There.
And Eastern is also a Nike school, and they sell different apparel. And can you go to the website for that too?
Yes, we do have an online store now. We actually have an exclusive online athletics store, so you can get Nike gear year-round.
Obviously, we talked a lot about a lot of good stuff, but is there any challenges in this so far? I mean, every job has some little roadblock or something. Have you met any of those?
I think it's just learning. I kind of came in with already a foot in the door. I knew, I obviously know all the administrative staff. I knew what Eastern Athletics was about, but I still learn every day. I'm still learning the ins and outs of fundraising, the ins and outs of Division I athletics, and what makes people tick to give. And so always learning something new every day, and how to, treat our donors, how to treat our, former student athletes, and just always willing to learn as well, though.
Okay.
Getting a new volleyball coach and having someone big of a name as he is, how does that help you in your job?
Oh, I mean, I'd like to say it makes it easier, but it's exciting. It's just another step to bring excitement to Eastern athletics. You know, we've had a very successful volleyball team here recently, and to be able to get someone like Coach Millar here in a new gym and just things are turning the page. He's going to bring, you know, the knowledge that he will bring to these girls it's going to be astonishing. You know, just listening to him talk, it's amazing what he can break down and see in film, and you know, just watching film from last year. Just a brilliant guy when it comes to volleyball, when it comes to life, when it comes to even people. So I'm excited to see what he can do, and also excited what our fans will enjoy with him.
That's cool. Yeah, I know you talked a little bit about throwing the no-hitter against Illinois State. Is there anything? Was that number one? And you talk in the memory bank of Amber May playing here, or is there something else that stands out? What you think about?
That's probably the first one, just because it's my first fall here. But you know, I think overall, you know, winning the conference championship, you know, my senior year, and then we got to host the tournament. This was back when they were still hosting at the number one school. So you know, beating Jacksonville State, who we played that final weekend, and it was a do or die game. And so it came down to that last game, winner takes all. And so that's probably the most memorable game.
What was the score?
I think it was 5-4. But I think too, you know, I look back at all this.
I knew she'd know the score. That's awesome.
But I look back at all the games we played. I got to go. You know, we played at South Carolina. We got to play at New Mexico State, Illinois, and so being able to get to play on the big stage and being able to compete with them was a lot. You know, it was great memories there.
Do you think it's better to play the conference championship games in the tournament at a school facility or at the Louisville Slugger complex like they're doing now?
I don't know. I mean, I think, you know, I would like to say home court advantage, home field advantage is nice. It did not fare well in our favor. We, you know, got to the tournament and I don't know, distractions or what, but we just were not the same team. So I think, looking back, I think it would probably be nice to play at a neutral site. There's no distractions. You're not worried about, you know, taking care of stuff the night before. But it's always nice to play on your home field. So I'm kind of torn on that one.
1 minute to go. Rapid fire question time for Amber May. Favorite sport to watch?
Softball.
Tom Michael in one sentence.
Tall. No.
That's good.
No, he's great. Got nothing but great things to say about Tom.
What do you miss the most about playing college softball at EIU?
Probably just my teammates.
What other sports did you play growing up in Bloomington Normal? Did you play anything else?
I attempted basketball and volleyball.
Attempted?
Yeah, that ended in middle school.
All-time favorite athlete?
Peyton Manning.
All-time favorite sports movie?
Ooh, probably Coach Carter, just because I just watched it last
Robbie,
night.
you want to answer that one too?
Caddyshack.
Sports movie?
Yeah, sort of.
Okay.
Kind of. It's golf related.
Okay.
EIU athlete that you're the most starstruck when you met?
Ooh, probably Jimmy Garoppolo.
Okay.
Just, but
And real quickly, who are you rooting for in the college basketball tournaments?
I'm gonna have to go with Tennessee.
Both of them?
Both of them. Both
All right,
sides.
Amber, congrats on all your success. Thanks for coming in on this day. We appreciate it very much. We are WEIU.